That one almost got me. I was like, man, did I not download a more than 20-second clip? Hey, Richard, great to see you.
Hey, Austin.
Joining us online. Let's fade this out.
What's up? Hello,
What's
friends.
going on,
Hello,
man?
Austin.
Great to
Happy
see
Friday
you.
again. Yet again.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday because we made it. Happy Friday because I get to see you. And happy Friday to our audience.
Say hi to us in the chat and tell us you're here. So fun.
I loaded up some sound effects based on your request last time. I took a different direction than you requested to accomplish the same thing. So when you hear it, you'll know. And we'll see how it goes.
That is so fun. How is everything? How was your week? What's going on?
Yeah, week was good. So we had a really interesting event here in town called Welcome to the Ecosystem. And it was in a new space that I don't even think is technically open, but they talked to the one of the owners of the building and let us use a space that is literally still being built. But yeah, a lot of ecosystem support organizations throughout the community got to table. Great charcuterie lineup, which we always love, and some wine, some beers, some drinks, and then the new space had this outdoor patio. And I don't know about you, but we're in like this weird 73 degrees spell for summer, and we are trying to get outside as much as possible. So it was a great week. I'll take the weather. The only downside was like Tuesday, we had some wild tornadoes across the state in Kentucky. But after the tornadoes, it's been beautiful weather. So that's the week. How about you?
Amazing. Weather's beautiful in upstate New York. Super happy getting outside all the time. Did some activities, physical activities that I haven't done in a while. Went rock climbing on Tuesday. I haven't done that in a while. Went to pickleball last Saturday. And now I'm stuck in it, and we're planning pickleball things with the entrepreneurs in our ecosystem.
Got bit by the bug. And you're playing with other entrepreneurs. That's super cool.
That really extended from our 1 Million Cups community, right? We do our Wednesdays, and then now we have an online community on Discord where all our entrepreneurs that come Wednesday mornings can coordinate events. And now the 1MC organizers don't have to do it all. The community can coordinate with each other. And so someone said rock climbing. We said yes. Someone said happy hour. We went to happy hour. I did some pickleball stuff. Just really cool and lots of fun stuff. And I'm really excited about 1 Million Cups and FastTrac Summit coming up next week.
Well, that's a win for the community, man, to be able to, not only organize community, but also get to a point where the community is self-organizing. So just want to celebrate that for your ecosystem. And also that, like, I think ecosystem building doesn't always have to be like we're working on our business or we're coaching, but it can be fun things. You can be playing pickleball, you can be rock climbing. We have founder beers. There's a group of founders and also people working at startups that do sand volleyball here, and they've been doing this, I'd say, for probably like at least 6 years they've been playing together. Awesome. And so, yeah, how do you do ecosystem building where you're having fun? So I love that.
Yes.
And looks like we got a shout out from Faye. Appreciate the love in the eShip comments. If you are an ecosystem builder, if you are supporting entrepreneurs, and you are not in the eShip Commons, go check it out. It's free to join. I think it's like eshipcommons.org. I'll run and get that link and drop it here in the chat. But appreciate the shout out there, Faye.
Thanks, Faye.
All right, Richard. What do we got lined up on the show today?
All right, drum roll, please. Do you have it? Yes! Sound effects. Next week is our long-awaited 1 Million Cups and Fast Track Summit for all our community organizers and Fast Track facilitators from all around the country to get together in Kansas City at the Kauffman Conference Center. And I'm really excited personally for that. I'm really excited for our community because many of our organizers are coming with me to that. And so today we have two awesome guests with us on the show, Kim and Jorge, who are their who are regional network leads for their respective regions. Welcome to the show, Kim and Jorge.
Thank you.
Welcome. It was great to meet you leading up to going live. Super excited. I'm curious, like we have the East and the West here. Like, is this like NBA finals? Like, is there a rivalry? What does it look like to like East chapters? Like, oh, like West chapters don't even know. Like, what is the culture like? I mean, and also what is your role? What does it mean to be a regional lead? And from what I hear, we don't even have Central here. So I mean, they don't have voice like East and West. That's top contenders. I don't know.
Hey, listen, we love our friends from the Central. So we just want to shout that out. Want to shout that out first. But hi everyone, Kim Vogel, and I am the East Regional Network Lead. And thank you guys so much for doing this for us and for putting a spotlight on, just how cool, number one, ecosystem building is, but number two, just on 1 Million Cups and the FastTrac Summit is going to be. So there is absolutely a really, really healthy level of competition within and for our regions, which I think we all love. And Jorge and I will talk a little bit about that. But I think the beauty actually is the way that we have really come together as a team, as really a brand new team, right, on behalf of 1 Million Cups and the Kauffman Foundation to really build out this network, right? Because in the end, when your community does good, Richard, my community does good. Austin, when your community does amazing things, Jorge's community, and et cetera, right? And so in the end, this is really about, right, like creating economic mobility for folks. And if 1 Million Cups is a great starting point for our entrepreneurs, we're all about it. So I'm just, again, happy to be here, and I'll let Jorge go into a little bit more detail about kind of what we do and what our role is and all of that. But right, we're just here to create community and to make sure that from one community to the next that we are as successful as possible.
Absolutely, Kim, and thank you very much for having us here. And I want to echo what Kim said, because I would call it co-opetition. It's collaboration and competition, but mixed. Yeah, I love the competition part of it, but I love more the collaborative part of it, because I am able to learn on a weekly basis what Kim is doing in her region, what her communities are doing in her region, take that and share it for my communities to see what they can adapt into their community. At the end of the day, it's all about collaboration and see how we can provide better resources to our communities. And I think that's the beauty of our role, because we're here not to enforce or to make people do what the Kaufman Foundation says. No, it's about opening doors, opening collaboration, not only for 1MC and FastTrac, but to their entire ecosystem. And I think that's something that we are going to start learning more in the summit, which is going to be next week. That's exciting.
That is super exciting. I would love to learn more about each of your backgrounds and how you ended up in your respective regional network lead roles, and hear that story. Kim, will you tell us all about your journey and how you ended up here today doing the work that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. I like to consider myself, and my face will probably tell this, that I am totally and completely OG 1MC. So I actually was a part of, and just as an attendee, right? As an attendee, as a supporter, volunteer when they needed us, all of those kind of things, to one of the very first 1 Million Cups communities out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So they were kind of one of the first that came on board, and I was a newly minted entrepreneur, business owner, trying to do stuff on my own. I am definitely an extrovert's extrovert. I loved working on teams. And so when I went into this solopreneur journey, I was like, oh my God, I'm so lonely. And I was like, I need to find my people. And people keep saying to me, you got to go check out this 1 Million Cups. You got to go check out this 1 Million Cups. And I finally got brave enough to go, and like show up by myself and go and meet people and do all of that. And it was amazing. Like, I was hooked from the very beginning. And I like to tell people, like, not only that, but then it gave me an opportunity to become have a long-term contract with the local SBDC office, where I became an SBDC business consultant. I got to work specifically with early startups. We were in the process at that point. We had just built a year-round city market in our town, and we were using that, and our small business owners that were going in there were using it as an incubator space. So I got to really work with those businesses and help them write their business plans. At that point in like 2014 or so, Iowa was ranked one of the last in support of women small business owners. And so I was like, can we change that narrative? And I got room and space through organizations like 1 Million Cups, but also through the SBDC, to kind of create this female founder board of directors kind of thing. And we had a number of those organizations and a number of small business owners, women small business owners, that started meeting on a monthly basis and basically acted like their own board of directors. So it was really powerful for them. But for me, it was just the community part. And then my family, we made a decision. We made a decision to move. Some things had happened, and we were like, it's time to go. We ended up moving ourselves to Florida. And my husband said, well, how are we going to decide exactly where we're going to move, and like what town do we really want to be in? And what do you think I did? I pulled up the map and said, where is the 1 Million Cups? And it happened to be a Tuesday night. And I said, hey, St. Petersburg, Florida has a 1 Million Cups. You want to go tomorrow morning? And he was like, absolutely. And kind of the rest is history. And a couple of years later, I became lead organizer and started running the Small Business Assistance Center for the city of St. Pete, and have been involved in doing this kind of work for a lot of years now. And it's great. And I can honestly say I still love and enjoy all those people who were a part of that original organizing team, and who so warmly welcomed us into St. Petersburg and into the Tampa Bay region. And I relied heavily on the entrepreneurial ecosystem, and they continue to be some of my dearest and closest friends. And I'm just happy to say that I get to be a part of this ecosystem, and I get to help now other founders really kind of find their way within the ecosystem. And I also have a number of partners, and we have our own venture fund, because now we have to go beyond just the ecosystem building, but we also have to figure out how our founders can get as much access to capital as they need. So I'm really proud of that work too. But there's my 1 Million Cup story. So here I am, and saw the position, believe it or not, on LinkedIn, and took a wild stab at it, and here we are. So
amazing. I met Dr. Sue last year at Summit, and she is wonderful and amazing, and drives a lot of the 1MC in St. Pete. And funny story, one of my very good friends, she splits her time between the capital region, upstate New York, and St. Pete. So she's gone to 1 Million Cups in St. Pete, and is actually coming back on her way back actively right now. And she's presenting at our chapter next week. So that's really a fun connection. Jorge, will you please tell us your story.
Absolutely. Everything started around 12 years ago when I got involved with my Chamber of Commerce, and I was super young. I was just an intern, and I was there for a couple of months until they offered me a position. I was working first at tourism, but I said, you know what? Um, I I think I would be better over there, and over there was the Department of Business Development. So 12 years ago, they gave me the opportunity to be the director of business development and startups at my local Chamber of Commerce. And I did that emphasis and startups because 12 years ago, the word startup was like kind of new, especially in the Chamber of Commerce. You know, it's a very traditional type of industry where they have done certain things certain way for a long time. So I was fortunate enough to be mentored by a person that was very innovative and forward thinking. And he eventually became my mentor. His name is Steve Elena. Shout out to Steve. The first book that he gave me, and Richard, you might know this story, was The Rainforest by Victor Huang. And after I read that book, I became, first of all, a fangirl of Victor Huang. But secondly, I got hooked with the idea of if you're able to share resources with no friction, that's what creates a truly entrepreneurial ecosystem that is successful. So that was the first book that I read that pretty much got me hooked into this. And then in that 10 plus years of story, I had a lot of fun creating different programs. I used to have a program called INE Network, which INE stands for Inventors and Entrepreneurs. Very similar concept to 1MC, but the difference here is that everyone had 2 minutes to tell who they are, what they're doing, but what they're struggling with. 2 minutes is a short period of time, I believe. It was on Thursdays night from 6 to 8, and it was like pizza and beer. So that was a big drag, but I said, you know what? There might be something else out there to foster that type of networking and collaboration. And that's when I learned about 1 Million Cups, right? Around 8 years ago, I went to visit my nearest community, which is in San Antonio, Texas. And I get to meet Matthew Espinosa. You might know him, Richard. And he's a great ecosystem builder over there. He showed me the 1MC way. Because yes, I was an attendee, but he saw my face for the first time and he said, it's your first time here, right? Let me introduce you to X, Y, and Z. Let me introduce you to this person that you should know. And I'm like, this is the type of culture I'm trying to create in my community. So yeah, after that, we had fun down here in the Rio Grande Valley, creating programs like, we have a 70,000 square foot incubator where we teach women how to make handmade skills, how to monetize that. We created a program around it. We call it Latina Hope. It had expanded to a couple of counties now, and it got recognized by the International Economic Development Council because of the creation of programs for diversity and inclusion. And we had a lot of fun, too much fun in my opinion. We created pitch competitions, hackathons, innovation grants, business plan competitions, mentorship programs. And eventually I fell into the 1MC world, and I started as a regional rep around 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I have not left the 1MC world and will probably never be, because it's just the type of culture that I love. It's giving without expectations to receive anything back, and that's why I do what I do.
Yeah, amazing. You mentioned Victor Huang, the rainforest. We had Victor on the show a couple weeks ago to help us celebrate America 250 the day before July 4th. So that was super fun, fantastic conversation, and excellent work that they're doing at Right to Start, of which I'm really proud to play a small role in New York, which is really cool. Before we continue, something I do very often in the shows, not sponsored by Polar, if you can hear this. Crisp and refreshing. All right. Austin. Ooh, what are you drinking? You're muted, my friend.
So I frequent Focus, which is a local brand. I don't know if they're still local. I think there was probably some acquisition. manufactured still in Louisville, Kentucky. Perfect.
Hey,
it's
that.
like if you took Polar and put some caffeine in it. So it's caffeinated sparkling water. So just a little end of day pick me up, but without all the sweetness that
do you want to know what I'm
What
drinks.
drinking?
are you
Sure.
drinking?
Doesn't matter.
Hey.
It's just the
Doesn't
coolest
matter.
ever.
You know what? We just need to get
Did you
this.
whoa. So cool.
That's awesome.
All of those stickers can be yours next week too.
Just grab a white Owala and put a lot of stickers on it,
Stickers on
and
it.
voila.
Perfect.
That looks
Custom
so
perfect.
good. Amazing.
Isn't that great?
Let's see if we can. There we go.
Oh,
Now
hey.
we're branded.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
There we are.
I really appreciate the intros. I took a few kind of notes that we can maybe hit on during the show today that kind of stood out to me. One was the concept of narrative change, and you know, I think there's a lot we could dive into in driving narrative change and how each of you are doing that, how you approach that, what that means, where you found success, where you struggled, things like that. I heard some experience in multiple ecosystems, which I always think is interesting, especially for myself. Of like, it's one thing to learn from another ecosystem where you go to a city, you hear from someone, or you're on a show like this and you hear from someone somewhere else, but to actually live it where you're in one ecosystem, you move, then you have to get reacclimated and then learn it and also see how that ecosystem is different and learn that. So I think that could be another topic. I think one thing, you know, that you both could probably hit on is, I think 1 Million Cups does a really good job of saying, hey, we're after entrepreneurs. Doesn't have to be venture backable, high scale startups. We're after entrepreneurs. But to Jorge or George? Jorge?
It doesn't matter. Both work.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm always calling people by the name, and I have a really long last name, so you know I like to honor people in that. But one thing that you mentioned is like you have this startup background, and so I would be curious, you know, what that looks like for how you all are approaching and balancing having both groups in the room. I think what can startups learn from non-startup entrepreneurs and vice versa. So I think, you know, just from your experience in 1 Million Cups and then seeing multiple chapters, that could be interesting. And then also hearing you mentioned creating a lot of programs. And so what was that process? How do you go about that? How do you think about that? So a lot of different topics that I pulled out. Richard, I don't know if you had any list of things you wanted to dive in, but that was some of my notes.
Yeah, somewhere in here would love to have the conversation around Summit and what to expect for organizers that are going and what it is for folks who are watching who are not familiar. And if they're involved in 1MC as an organizer or FastTrac as a facilitator, and
Any
why
place
they
you want to
come in the
start?
future. Yeah, wherever you guys want to start. And I just wanted to say first, right, Kim, thank you for hopping on when I asked you earlier this week. And Jorge, super thank you for coming on last minute. We kind of roped him in with 2 minutes of notice, and he said, yes, absolutely. So thank you both for just being here and hanging out.
Absolutely.
So Summit, let's talk about Summit. We expect a little bit over 190 ecosystem builders in Kansas City starting Monday, Tuesday, right? Tuesday is where we start our programming. And it's super fun because something that we experienced last year and that we have been building upon is the collaboration between both programs, 1 Million Cups and Kaufman FastTrac. So if you don't know what either of those programs are, it's 1MC. It's a community event where it's created by the community and for the community, where we showcase two entrepreneurs for 6 minutes. They tell us their story, who they are, what they do, but most importantly, what they're struggling with. And then together as a community, we gather in a 20-minute Q&A conversation to see how we can help the entrepreneur that's on stage. And then on the other side, FastTrac, it's a mentorship program where you can create a more structured way of thinking. Imagine a business plan, but not necessarily a written 20-page long business plan, but you will be able to understand different concepts of your business with a little bit of more structure. It's an 8-week process. It's an educational component. And both programs align perfectly because 1MC showcases businesses that need help, and FastTrac provides the resources that actually give you the help. And I believe FastTrac has been going around for like almost 30 years, if not 30 years already. Kaufman, 1MC, it's around 15 years, more or less. Mm-hmm. And for the first time ever, last year, they said, what happens if we put them both in the same room? Considering that it's under the same umbrella that it's Kaufman Foundation, right? And it was the best idea ever. I think the level of collaboration that we're seeing nowadays, in the minds of our organizers, it's just clicking. It makes sense. They have the step one, I got it. It's already in my community. But what's step two? Well, FastTrac is step two.
Right. Which, I mean, it's that whole kind of spectrum of support of the entrepreneurial journey, right? Like it's really easy to say and to see that like a 1 million cups is kind of your entry into the ecosystem, right? You're coming in through the front door. I always like to say, and I said this all the time, with any startup I work with, if you even show up through the basement door, it doesn't matter. It's going to be open for you. And we want you to come in. Somebody will be there waiting for you. Yep. Right? Like we have to be able to do that. It doesn't matter how an entrepreneur finds us. It's the fact that they find us. But then that also means on the flip side of that, we got to go out and we have to find them. Right? And we sometimes have to grab their hand and bring them along with us. And I think that is such an important thing of the community piece of 1 million cups. And then the FastTrac is like that next stage, right? It's that next stage of development. It's that, okay, I have had a really good idea and I know that I'm onto something here, but I don't have an MBA. I don't know how to build and create what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. No one told me this. And I am really good at this thing that I do. And maybe I got education around that. Maybe it's a passion of mine. Maybe it's whatever. But now I need the foundation, and FastTrac just really provides that foundation. I was laughing. My daughter is a business owner. She is an entrepreneur in and of her own right. She has an extremely successful clinic. She has a number of doctors that work for her. She's ready to do her second location, sooner than later, all of that. And she said to us, and she's already got an advanced degree. Listen, I mean, it's been a journey, right? And she was like, I should have gone and got an MBA. And I was like, absolutely no, it's okay. You're okay. Like there is support for you. And we will help you figure out what that looks like and how to go about getting that. And then find those really good partners, those technical support subject matter experts. And if anything, I think that's what FastTrac helps people really get clear about the kind of stuff that they're really good at, and then where they're going to need that additional support to make their business, to operationalize their business, right?
Oh, Richard, you're muted.
I feel like we all get one of these a show. Last year during Summit, I didn't understand. I like a bunch of us 1MC organizers didn't know what FastTrac was. And we came into the room, we're like, what is this? I think the running joke was, what is FastTrac? And by the end of it, right, like the goal was to like understand it. And by the end of it, yes, I understood what FastTrac was. And then learning more about it throughout the year and leading up to the summit, it makes so much sense to me to partner the two programs that have been running under the same foundation to, both of them are in a way democratizing entrepreneurship, right? One through a community that anyone in a community anywhere can raise their hand, gather their organizers, and host their weekly Wednesday meetups. and the other one through entrepreneurship education, democratizing that for communities, very low barrier to entry for any organization or facilitator that wants to run it. And so it goes hand in hand and makes so much sense to me now, which is great. I think that was a fantastic strategic decision and move to bring those closer together. And we don't have FastTrac here in the capital region. And I'm hoping that through this summit and by learning more about FastTrac and being in the room with some facilitators and having conversations with them, we can find a pathway to do FastTrac in the capital region. And some of our 1MC organizers that we're bringing may be able to help us with that, right? One of them is the vice president of our one of our local chambers, and so they may have organizational capacity to run a FastTrac through the chamber, and so that makes sense. And so I'm really excited on that front for Summit going on here. Do either of you have anything specific that you're interested about coming up next week for Summit?
I mean, I do. I have to tell you, I am like so excited because Jorge and I decided, again, this is our collaborative space coming into play here, where I think obviously, just like you guys, we're super passionate about ecosystem building and how important it is. And what I have always found, I've been in the middle of a big ecosystem project down here in the Tampa Bay region for, we got a grant. We've been working on some stuff, again, getting everybody around the table, right? I mean, because there's so much good stuff happening, and in that but just making sure that everybody really knows what each other is doing, and then just really asking people to like, okay, like you're so good at this, like play in that sandbox, and somebody else can pick up that other piece and can do this, because in the end, it's really just about keeping our entrepreneur in the center, right? But so Jorge and I started talking, and we decided that we wanted to do sessions together. So we will be co-facilitating an ecosystem building kind of 101. And then we'll be doing a ecosystem building, for lack of a better term, beyond the map session to really get people thinking a little bit more deeply and having it be very much action driven. Like, okay, I'm going to walk out of here and here's like the 3 things I'm going to do as soon as I get back home, kind of thing. And so just to really get people thinking a little bit broader about the ecosystem. And I'm so excited, number one, that we're partnering together to do that and to do some great storytelling. Because we've also got some really like amazing panelists who are doing so much of this good work that will be joining us. And we want to say thank you to Richard for joining our ecosystem building number 2, the 201 version. So we're excited about that. And every single organizer that I've talked to, and that has, we've been telling them that we've been doing, working on these sessions. They're so excited about this. So that's what I'm thrilled about that.
I'm excited about 3 things. First one, it's absolutely the collaboration with Kim. It has been eye-opening. Her level of understanding on ecosystem building, it's amazing. Richard, last year we had this conversation. What if we just create a Google Docs and we start plugging in there all the different ESOs that we can find in our mind, and then together we create a national list? And that project with a little bit of framework, I think first of all, it's giving the insights to our organizers that yes, this is step number 1. You should create your map. And then 2, what do you do after that? Like, it's not just about knowing who does what. It's about connecting all the different points between each other, right? So yeah, that's definitely one. And I want to show you, Richard, a project that I've been working on in the background. Maybe this kind of helps on that. Number 2 is we're bringing back the awards. So I don't know if you remember 1 or 2 years ago, we did some award ceremony. Now we're bringing back awards, but for every region, we have a first, second, and third place. And it's a great opportunity to, number 3, connect with other organizers, other like-minded people that do what we do, but in other places of our nation. And it's great to know what they're doing elsewhere to see what you can incorporate into your community. I think that, yes, we can dive deep into learning sessions, but the most power that we will get from this gathering, it's actually connecting with each other, because we're very lonely on what we do. So finding that camaraderie at a national level, it's the key.
It absolutely is. And, Jorge and I, along with other folks, through the foundation, are really hopeful that Kauffman is going to embrace this idea of creating this kind of national toolkit, right? That we can help communities with, and that communities can co-create this, right alongside the foundation. Because we all know that there are so many communities out there with so much potential, but maybe not the same kind of opportunities that our communities have. And so by offering some of these kind of customizable solutions at some point here in the future, I mean, how cool would it be to say that because of best practice that happened in Louisville, and because of best practice that happened in the Capital Region and in St. Petersburg and McAllen and all of these other communities, we were able to create this toolkit, this, there's so many words for it. Like it's going to end up being bigger than a toolkit for sure. Right. But that we were able to really create this thing of best practice, and here's what to do when an entrepreneur is in this stage of the journey, because we're all working through this in our communities. We're all talking about the gaps in our entrepreneur's journey. And, trying to figure out how to fill it. Well, what if we all were working on that together nationally, and then creating this opportunity?
And I think the most important part of what Kim said is that it's already on the mind of the Kauffman Foundation. Like, what resources do I, as the Kauffman Foundation, need to put out there so that this is a sustainable project and not one shot and that's it? It's going to be something that will be lasting. And to be able to create the right tool that it's needed to our communities, we need everyone's input. And this is the place where we are going to be able to together start constructing what that tool looks like.
Because I have a question for you guys, because I'm always curious about this. Like, how many times in your community have y'all tried to have the ecosystem map? And maybe it was a tech, maybe it was a tech tool.
So many.
Right? Maybe it was started off as a Google Doc. Maybe it started off as an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe it was like, okay, so-and-so. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what, you guys, we spent the money on it here. Like, we put money into it. We started talking to developers. We started doing all of this stuff. We had it. I mean, we thought we had created this thing. Guess what? The funding ran out and no one showed up anyway. So this idea of creating this true buy-in is really what I think our focus has to be over the next, couple of years for sure, if not before that, on how do we create this buy-in so that our entrepreneurs feel like they're actually even welcome onto something like that, or get to be a part of that conversation in the first place.
I think that's so important. And Kim, I want to continue that conversation offline about what you've seen in your community and the tools you've tried and used and maybe have fallen short. So maybe we in the Capital Region can avoid those mistakes and learn from that as well. And whatever efforts you have going on around this, I'm so happy to be involved. So sign me up for whatever you need from me. But Austin, you had something.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I know in Louisville, we've gone through iterations from where we went from like a mind map tool was like the very first version, and then it was like a static list in a like a old website, just like static HTML, and then in 2014. We had an accelerator that was closing down, so they were trying to distribute all their assets and all their funds before they closed. And so someone was like, "Hey, let's go rebuild the static page and turn it into like a full functioning like community calendar plus resource hub. And so we built that in a weekend on WordPress. And then that lived from 2014 until 2026, when one of our local entrepreneurs that actually owned that domain had been playing around with AI a ton, was just building everything. And so he rebuilt that site to be a little bit more relational database. And I think some of the conversation locally has been like, okay, like having the data is one thing, but who keeps it up to date? How is that managed, right? Like, how do you maintain the value? But then the other factor is like awareness and distribution. How do you get people to know about it so they'll use it? But then keeping it up to date to build trust. Because when we launched the first website in 2014, or relaunched, I guess I should say, we had total community buy-in. Like that was the calendar for the community that everyone contributed to. It's what everyone checked. And it worked really well for a long time until roles changed. People moved in and out of the community. So then it got less updated. So then it was less trusted, all the way to the point where then eventually it had nothing on it. And then then people are like, oh, if they did find it because we had an SEO reputation after 12 years, like nothing's happening in Louisville. And so then it's like, okay, well then the rest of the community is like, well, we need to figure out how to adjust that asset. And then you're trying to find out who owns what to talk to. So it is not just a map, right? Like community can't be solved with just a map, but also the management is a lot more than I think communities realize in the long term. But there's I think the other thing that we're seeing is like in the age of AI, where anyone can build quickly, literally like within minutes to hours, build these pretty functional solutions. The other thing we're starting to see is, well, now we're starting to see multiple things pop up. And now where do I go? What do I look at? What do I trust? And so it's to me, it's like how far the pendulum has swung from how hard it was to build a map to now it's incredibly easy. And then the last piece is like, well, that I talked with Richard about in Chicago was like, okay, well, if a big barrier is updates and connection, well, what if we had agents doing all the updates and then you had some level of human verification? So yeah, it's a really interesting topic that I think is so often where a lot of communities go, but then you go talk to the entrepreneur, like, I don't care about your map. I just need help with this.
I just need help. And I think that's right. And for me, and it's like, and the path you didn't take us down, Austin, was the further path then, where then it becomes like the territory of who actually owns the map. And what do we do with that ownership? And what happens if my organization doesn't love your organization and I don't want you to own the map? Mm-hmm. And you start getting like that whole thing too, to the point then, we're seeing that same thing. We've got a number of organizations, and I keep saying that's great. We can create all of the cool tech tools that we want to, because we know we can. We know we can. But does that mean that it's actually going to get used? And until we have really good collaboration, and Jorge hears me say this all the time, but seriously, we can only move at the speed of trust. And so if someone or some group makes a decision that they're going to create this thing, and it may be as user friendly as possible, but if I don't trust where it's coming from, I'm not getting on there. I'm not doing that, right? It's not the technology that's holding us up. It's the true kind of collaborative spirit within our community. And then having those real conversations around, I'm going to just say it, I'm going to say ownership, right? And territory and all of that. Like, sorry guys, I went there.
No, you're good. I appreciate you going there, and I want to be cognizant of time. Richard, thanks for the reminder. So before you go, we have one question that we ask every guest. And so Kim, I want to ask you before you jump off, but
Oh, that's right. I'm jumping off, aren't
I? What is ecosystem building, or what is an ecosystem builder to you? How do you define that?
Oh gosh, you guys, that is such a good question. I love it. It's so good. Right? I mean, for me, ecosystem building is this idea of interconnectedness of relationships, of people, of ideas, of creativity. And the best, I think, ecosystem builders are those folks who are the connectors of those different pieces. And I think it's very much to a systems thinking approach, right? Like you have to be able to kind of see things from that 20,000 to 30,000 foot view so that you can see how the pieces fit together. And not only just the pieces, but like the ideas that maybe don't seem like they belong together, but just what if we took those ideas that seem polar opposite and actually joined them, what could actually really be created? And I think that it takes a special kind of people to be able to say that and to be able to see the what ifs, and to be curious enough to actually bring those what ifs together. And so for me, I think that that's a great definition of an ecosystem builder. I know it's not the definition that is in all the books, but I think it's one of the most important things. And I think an ecosystem is just us bringing divergent, thoughtful, creative ideas together, along with all of those kind of people, same kind of people, and showing where the interconnectedness is.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you guys. All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys. I am gonna drop off because I am gonna go hop on a boat.
Enjoy. Have the best time. Really appreciate your time today. And kind of sad that I'm not going to be with all of you at Summit, but maybe next year where maybe Jorge, we can talk about, chapters. I don't know.
I know. I mean, I would say we're ready for you, Austin, and we're ready for Louisville. So you tell us when you're all ready.
Sounds good. Enjoy.
Okay.
Enjoy. See ya.
I see Jack Fleming on the chat. Jack, please bring your orange jacket. You know what? I've been debating, like, should I buy one orange jacket for the Summit Awards? It feels the right time, right, to put that orange jacket. But I was like, that's actually Jack's thing. I don't want to steal it.
It's like the green jacket for the Masters. Is that the thing? Like, crown someone the winner. Can we win 1 million cups?
I'm not listening to Richard, so let me refresh my page real quick.
See ya. Oh, Austin, that's so fun. That was such a good chat.
Yeah, I appreciate that answer that she gave. Like I really like the asking the what if question. I really appreciated that because I think that is the role, which is like, don't just operate in community in the status quo, but ask what if. Well, what if we did add this? What if we did include this person that historically might not have made sense technically, but like just get creative with it.
Exactly.
All right, we got you back. Can you hear Richard?
Yep.
Hello.
All right, good deal.
Guess what we have though, Jorge?
Oh man,
guess what? I need Jorge to guess though. 3 guesses.
Okay,
we have a surprise.
Ben McDougal.
No, we did that
Okay. Victor Huang.
We've done that in the past.
Okay. Ooh, you got me there. Jack Fleming.
Jack!
There he is. Look at that.
Got it. Ready.
Wow.
Look.
I need
that is
to
orange.
maybe put it through the dry cleaners, but it's like plastic Amazon, so I don't know
You
if that will
need
do
to
well.
bring it, man. You need to bring it. I seriously was debating, should I buy one? No, they will think that Jack and I are twins. I cannot do that to
I'm fine
Jack.
with that. I'm fine with that.
You're gonna start a trend. We can all do it.
I actually had to go buy orange parking vests now because of our parking situation at our building. We have
Tell us more.
we had 74 in-person attendees this week with like 17 on Zoom, and our parking lot only holds like maybe 50 people max. So we had like 20 cars looking for spots, and they can't park next door because they'll tow. It's like an empty lot, but they're just mean to us. And then they're also building a 7 brew next door, so that's a whole issue on of itself for my wallet. But the mattress store that's also next to us got really mad because we used up all of their spaces, and so now we have to like
them.
I know they're open to 10 p.m. on a Friday. It's weird. It's a front.
We all know the conspiracy theory about.
I was gonna say, do we dive into that on the show? I don't know.
But so now we have to give people parking passes so they can park in another UNCW lot that's like a 2-minute, 3-minute walk down the street. But it's chaos. So now I have to buy like orange parking vests for some of our caffeinators and organizers so that they can go be like church parking attendants and go wave at people and lead them in.
That's amazing. And
Amazing.
a great problem to have, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That you hit that spot. So congrats to you on that.
It's just a
And
complaint.
great to see
that
you, man. I
I'll
feel like I haven't seen you since Raleigh Durham Startup Week.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Good to see you around, man.
Yeah, we have to complain to the university now that hey, we need a bigger building and a bigger parking lot. But
I
it's
mean,
it's not a bad issue to
It's
have.
got the proof, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We have to take all of our group photos on 0.5x because too many people.
And then you're still doing the Apple like pinch to like zoom out and create.
Yeah.
Have you tried any of that?
I mean, I know how to use a phone, so I'm not like I don't need to do 2 hands necessarily, but like a dad over here, you know, it's like scroll the dad scroll to zoom in. I don't need to do that, but usually I'll do my normal like my 0.5, I'll do my selfie, which people like, but it changes. It's sometimes harder to get group photos after because I tend to run over, and that's completely my fault. But I mean, we had 11 new people this week too, and so we had to do that. Took a while to get through those intros. But
yeah, can you tell us the story of how you like the story of the community, how you ended up with like 74 in person and a bunch on Zoom, and that growth? And did it happen suddenly? Did it happen over time? What do you think contributed to that growth of the community? And just give us that story, Jack.
Yeah. So I've been coming to Million Cups since basically the start of it here in Wilmington. We started in February of 2020. I was doing co-working in the room literally like right next to here. And if you remember, February 2020 is like right before COVID.
I was like, I know where this is going. We're going to start an event. Great. High enthusiasm.
Yeah, I like the iPhone effects in your phone. But yeah, so started to go to the events, and then we went through a few organizers who were running it. Great. I didn't really know like a ton about the process of leading by any means, but the organizer before me, she started to teach entrepreneurship at the university, so she had to leave, and then I was basically in a meeting with me, Heather, and like Jim Roberts, Heather runs the director CIE. Jim runs a one-man nonprofit for entrepreneurs in town. Basically, I was like voluntold to lead it. So that was fun. Like no one in the room was raising their hands to lead it. So I was like the only entrepreneur who's actually in the room who's an entrepreneur who lead it. So well, they did it nicely. They're like, hey, we want your energy. It'll be good for you. It'll be good for you to, grow your personal brand in that way. And I didn't really know that at the time how beneficial it was going to be, but it's turned out to be a major success. When I started, I've been the lead organizer for Million Cups here in Wilmington for about 3 years now. So probably a little year too long, a year longer than they want me to, as per documents from Million Cups National, but people still want the energy, and I want to continue the momentum, and so I'm not gonna necessarily slow down. But we were regularly having about 15 to 25 people weekly, and then it just gradually grew. There wasn't maybe it's due to my marketing efforts. I think it took some time and consistency, and we used to live stream everything to Facebook, and then Facebook would have our live streams. Then Facebook now deletes those live streams after 90 days.
Wow.
So I learned that pretty quickly from doing that, and it wouldn't let me live stream to Facebook anymore because I added Facebook and Instagram to a business portfolio on Facebook backend, and so they don't let me live stream anymore. So there's a little bit of complications now. We record on Zoom, we still do Zoom, and then I upload to YouTube. I try to upload to YouTube later, so our entrepreneurs have the most resources possible after the fact. But I think it's just been a mixture of working hand in hand with our ESOs in town. So it's like the Chamber of Commerce, the Cape Fear Community College, Small Business Center, SBTDC, UNCW, Genesis Block. So we've been working hand in hand with a lot of those ecosystem builders, mainly for pipeline. But I think it's just consistent marketing, trying to get pictures out there of people and groups of people, and posting graphics of who's presenting, and just trying to do the grind there. It takes time.
Out of curiosity, what platforms do you use for your marketing? Which one do you see that it's the strongest one for this type of event?
So we have 1,100 followers on Facebook. We have I think 720 on LinkedIn. And then we have like 111 followers on Instagram. It's the newer of the platforms. We have 0 subscribers on YouTube right now, so I'm working on that one. But I think Facebook is the main one by far. And then, of course, we've tried to connect with the youths more. So I'm trying to be on Instagram, and maybe not TikTok, but
you need to learn some dances to be on TikTok.
Oh, I don't need to learn
one
any
MC
dances.
dance.
I'm fine telling other people to do that for me. But yeah, so mainly Facebook.
Did you hear that alert? We had a news come in. Jorge, looks like you got to jump. I want to make sure we get the question in. Sorry to interrupt you there, Jack. We'll get back to the question, but I saw that come in, and we gotta. Felt like sound
I like the sound effects. I like the sound effects. I need it. I need it for my own. I need it to tell entrepreneurs to stop presenting. Honestly.
Jorge, before you jump, we want to make sure we ask you the question of. Perfect. Thank you, Richard. That's fantastic. Jorge, what is an ecosystem builder to you, or how do you define ecosystem building?
For me, an ecosystem builder can be a person, can be an organization, but it pretty much serves as a bridge, connecting both needs and whoever is going to fill that need. And the beauty of this bridge is that it's not set in one place. It can move around, right? So this ecosystem builder is someone that really knows their community, is connected with everyone in town. It's probably the best friend of a lot of people, but also has unlimited range of curiosity and, most importantly, willingness to help. So it has a couple of features there that are very unique to be able to connect the needs and the offerings. For me, that's an ecosystem builder.
I love it. Thank you. Appreciate you answering. Appreciate you joining us today.
Well, thank you guys.
Any final comments, words?
I'm probably going to pull the trigger, Jack, on purchasing that jacket. Let's see how that goes.
Wait, no, I saw someone, who was it on our call that had a coffee, like a coffee pattern? Someone had a coffee pattern for something once in a regional call.
Yeah, I think that was
Or what
me,
if it's just coffee beans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I created for the ugly sweater contest, the national one. I created an ugly sweater with like coffee cups in here. Maybe I
That
can
was
take
you,
that
yeah.
over there.
Yeah,
Or like a white
that's
suit
good.
coat with like orange
Ooh,
accents.
I love it. I
That
love
could
it.
be pretty sharp. The only
Yeah.
downside is like now don't spend a lot of money on this, but then take a coffee mug, overfill it with coffee, and then just do circles of coffee cup
I love
imprints
it.
all over it.
That's clever. That's
Like
clever.
that's the real. That's the real right there.
Austin, a pleasure meeting you.
Hey,
Richard,
great to
Jack,
meet you.
we'll see you in a few.
See you Tuesday.
See you in a few. Thanks.
Cheers.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you there, Jack. I'll
Good go.
yeah, I think so this topic of marketing around 1 million cups is really interesting, right? I think probably something that every chapter is trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. I would be curious, how, for LinkedIn, it sounded like you started with Facebook as your primary channel. I'd imagine LinkedIn is probably a growing channel for you, probably pretty fast. One thing we're seeing is like personal people posts go further than like the 1 million cups page or any company page. And so I'd be curious, are you all doing any kind of what I would call guerrilla viral posts where you're getting people to share, or what does that look like? How are you using LinkedIn in that way?
Yeah, we've hired a petting zoo to bring gorillas. I'm kidding. We haven't done any guerrilla marketing. We need like spray paint them orange.
Hold on.
That's like
My favorite is that it just like comes back. it's
that's like you're laughing and then you stop laughing and then you look back at your friend and you continue laughing.
exactly.
It's the same thing.
There's a video on Instagram that's going around of like this wife that uses mayonnaise to fool her husband that like a bird pooped on him. And like I just sat there rewatching that, crying. I was laughing so hard because like he thinks it's a bird, and like the amount of mayonnaise that she squeezed was just like an obscene amount. She's like, "Is that a pterodactyl? Like, what kind of bird does this?" So I'll send it to you all in the private chat so you can.
Yeah,
Amazing.
we don't. Back to marketing. I do marketing
There you
full
go.
time.
What transition?
I run a social media marketing company. And I started a little marketing software company as well. But I try to take as many photos as I can during Million Cups. Our Center of Innovation Entrepreneurship takes photos of each presenter after and with the magic stand and their coffee cups, so that they post stuff to their social media as well. We do have a few people who do post to their own personal pages during Million Cups too, for their own LinkedIn. One of our organizers, John Barker, is known for that. He posts selfies. He's like, "Guess what day it is? Hump day." It's Million Cups Day. But so we do have some of that going on. Of course, I'll post to my LinkedIn as much as I can to not ambush people at Million Cups all the time. But I would definitely want us to have more like full-time volunteer helpers for video production and photography. It's just I can't manage it all at once, which is completely my fault for not getting more help for that. I'm working on it, but it's we have had good help a few times. So like for our 5-year anniversary, I guess 2 years ago now, we're coming up on 7 years. We brought on a photographer and a videographer, and we gave them like event sponsorship. They could present for a minute before events started about what they did, and in return, they would take photos and videos, and then we'd credit them. So we've had some people come in and do it. I've also had some other people do like one-off things. Like we had a guy do a reel that was like very sound effects based. It was like coffee being poured, people running notes. It was very, very cool video. I gave him complete creative freedom. I was just like, hey, this is the direction I want to go. But it would be cool to have a better consistent content to come out that's like photo video based reels. I sometimes will do like the wave with the crowd. Sometimes I'll do like million cups.
That's awesome.
Different videos with the crowd, but also sometimes we just don't have the time to do it. So like consciously, I've had to schedule a date in August where we're doing a community building day and taking a break for the day, because we've had a consistent 2 presenters each and every week for like the past like 4 months. And so I'm getting a little tired.
That's fair. Richard, I mean, I know you built like I wouldn't even call it a team. It's kind of like a working system, if you will, where you have the team, but it's going. How did you get to that point? And also, like, how are you handling some of these challenges that Jack just addressed?
Yeah, we our community has been around for a long time, right? It was one of the earlier communities. We launched in June 2015, and it predated my involvement in the ecosystem. I got involved in 2017 at the end of the year or mid-year because I was interning at an accelerator program. We had space. 1 Million Cups came around, asked us to for space, and my boss said yes, which really meant me, the intern, I had to go set up chairs every Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock, 8:30, get them all ready for the 9 o'clock 1 Million Cups, brew the coffee, do the things. I was sure hated it in the moment, but then I got to understand what 1 Million Cups was and the program and the energy in the room and the people that were coming, and we would consistently fill the room 30, 40, 50 people every week. And then I officially signed on as an organizer at the end of 2017 and have been with that crew ever since. And so there has been many ups and downs and challenges and kind of successes over the years. And we've been fortunate to be able to support over 800 entrepreneurs in our community since then. Over something like 200 plus presentations we've counted since then. So we have those numbers somewhere. But COVID was hard. We were one of the first communities to go virtual. Everyone wanted to connect. And so for the first 6 months, we had a great online weekly 1 Million Cups, and everyone got zoomed out and that dropped off. So we took a break towards 2021, 2022. Then we tried to come back in person in 2023, try a number of different models of weekly, monthly, 1 presenter, 2 presenter, a mix of spaces. And it was, so we did the monthly thing. It must have been all of 2025. We were weekly in 2024. At the end of the year, we were at the co-working space, and then we saw our attendance drop and we couldn't get to critical mass, right? We couldn't get to a self-propelling flywheel that would not have to be pulling teeth to get people to come. And so we dropped to monthly and partner with Rensselaer Chamber in 2025. And we did that monthly in their space. And then we grew the attendance a bit. And then we just lost the community piece of it because it was monthly. And so we took a winter break going into, so that was 25. Going into 26, we took a winter break. And then we retooled. They moved their offices. They ended up with a big conference room down the block. And we decided to commit to weekly. And we decided to come back in March of this year and rebuilt the organizing team. And so it was myself. And I guess by last person standing ended up the lead of the chapter. And then we ended up working with the Rensselaer Chamber. And so Lucas, the vice president, came on as an organizer. And then we did weekly. We had a small group, and we just kept doing it and kept creating a space in a community that people wanted to come to. And eventually putting the word out to the community, asking for volunteer organizers. We had a bunch of new folks say, yes, we're interested. And so we actually went from myself and Lucas we have like 8 or 9 dedicated organizers now, all coming on board in the last 60 days. And so we are really in the process of building systems and longevity and resiliency in the community and in the organizing team. And so one thing that has worked for us in the past 2 months is every organizer has now a thing that they lead, right? A role. And so in our 1 Million Cups playbook, there are several roles listed, but we also have some additional ones. So we have a head of community growth. Sandra kind of manages and thinks about how do we grow the community and make sure they're having a good time. And so one initiative she wanted to propose and then we brought to fruition is, can we do stuff outside of 1 Million Cups? Take this community, strengthen it by going on hikes together and getting ice cream together and going to the baseball game and things like that. We have of course, someone who is leading marketing. We have someone who is in charge of presenter pipeline, a lead coach. I still do the emceeing right now, but I'm looking to, in the next several months, pass that along to another organizer who has indicated that he wants to do more public speaking. And so I'll do that transition. And then we're building systems and tooling. And so we have Garrett on our team, who is a software engineer, and he's building automations and forms and customized tooling for us. So it's easy for us to onboard new presenters. It's easy for us to get them to the coaching pipeline. It's easy for them to for us to generate the marketing graphics using the templates we have. And so we're rolling all of that out. And then from that effort and from having more organizers and more people flying the flag, really, we went from 5 to 10 to 15. Now we have 20 to 25 folks every week consistently. And we just outgrew the chamber's conference room space. And so we're fortunate that we can move just downstairs in the same building to our maker spaces, big community room. And so we've partnered with them and we're using their space now going forward. And so I really enjoy kind of this process of building systems and empowering the organizers that have come on board. So maybe one day I can graduate and retire back to attendee and know that the community will continue to grow and continue to thrive. And I think a topic that I'm interested in, and I'm curious if there are any sessions on this at Summit, is succession planning and how do we build roles and organizing teams that are resilient, that folks can step into and step out of without relying solely on one person, right? And I'd be interested to have conversations around that topic.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to find, because leading Main Cups has been so good to me and my personal brand. I want to do the same for another young entrepreneur. So I've verbally told my community, like, to hold me accountable. I'm like, hey, by the end of the year, like, I really love to find another like young entrepreneur, ideally like UNCW graduate, to kind of jump in and help organize and MC and work on their public speaking as well, because it's been so beneficial to me. I think I want to give that to other people too.
Yes, absolutely. Is it time?
Hold on. No, I have. Let's see if we can get this going. Oh, it's not an overlay. I was hoping it'd be an overlay.
So
that's so
funny.
cool. I like it.
So, do you want to go fun or serious real quick?
I get 2 questions. I only got 1. I mean, I got more, but let's go.
Well, we're not done. We're not done. I mean,
okay.
If you're not done, we're not done. But
oh no, this is going to be a 4-hour-long podcast.
right.
Very entrepreneurial. We're going into the late afternoon on a Friday and still working. Most people.
I mean,
work at
Richard,
noon on
say
a
your
Friday.
line. Say your line. It's our show.
No, it's our show. Gosh darn it.
All right, give you a choice. Do you want to dive in?
Let's do the serious one first.
Okay. Jack, what is an ecosystem builder, or what is ecosystem building to you?
Okay. I've been kind of talking about this a lot lately to different people. first, I kind of sometimes hate it when people put me in the same grouping as them, because they do a job that's so beneficial and impactful for entrepreneurs and founders like myself that it's not something I want to do as a full-time job. And I don't think I have the capacity to do that, but I naturally do it already just as a founder who's in marketing. And so I kind of put ecosystem builders on the same level as almost like teachers or almost like nurses, where, you know, they might not get paid enough, but oftentimes they do it because they want it deep down in their hearts to like serve the community and create a better future for those around them. And so, yes, there are people who do it full time, and I'm not one who wants to do it full time necessarily. But whether it's, you know, an ESA who does it full time, or even a founder who is just doing a good job of building in public and documenting their growth, I think both of those groups are very much ecosystem builders. And even the same realm, like I don't want to get super political, but even like community leaders and politicians locally can also be that role too, in a way, but also they have other kind of priorities that they have to deal with too, and they can't get too focused on one side of the thing, one side of the middle, I guess.
Yeah. I like it. I would say like you are definitely an ecosystem builder, even if not doing it full time. And I think like just hearing, even you talked about your current 1 Million Cups chapter and the growth that it's had, and like that to me is like ecosystem building. All the connections you're making, what you're spotlighting, the storytelling, and that ecosystem building doesn't have to be full time, and often isn't. Right, the amount of multiple hats that we wear right now as an ecosystem builder, I think, is almost part of it. Because it's not just a thing we do; it's a part of what we do, and it's almost like an outpour.
Mm-hmm. I've even said too recently that, because people ask me all the time, I've had multiple people recently think that it's a paid position, so that's wild. Mm-hmm. But I've had people ask me the ROI of almost like leading Million Cups, like, hey, has it actually been like beneficial to you running your business? And I'm like, maybe I can't attribute as much money to it from my marketing side of things as I'd want, but just being able to like connect building a business owner to a resource, or business owners to each other, like being that connective tissue is part of marketing. It's not mainly the social media side that I focus on with my company, but it's a part of marketing. And so it does really relate to what I do professionally as well. And it also just gives me an avenue to try different forms of media and posting. So luckily, I don't have to test things on my client accounts. I could test it through Million Cups social media pages, our American Marketing Association pages, my own personal pages, before I post it on client accounts to see if that medium does well, because marketing changes so frequently that I can use those places as like a testing ground. But yeah, just being that connective tissue works so well in marketing that, and it's also like just I'm so close to business growth. Like I literally added that to my business's Instagram bio recently. It was like the biggest supporters of business, because that's what we are. Like, yes, the chamber is also that too, but as a marketer, like that's literally our whole shtick too. It's like we're the biggest supporters of business possible. Ideally, the ones that pay us, but in general, I'm a biggest supporter of every business in Wilmington possible as well.
Yeah,
I love that.
Is a question for the group, right? This sparks the thought, and is ecosystem building a action and a practice in addition to a role? Is it one or the other? Is it both? Is it either? And the example here, or the analogy here, is we all send emails, right? Like we aren't, our job title isn't emailer. We go to meetings. We're not like meters. We do that in the context of doing other things, is this similar in that we do ecosystem building and we help grow the entrepreneurship ecosystem in our regions through the other things we do, just like we send emails to accomplish XYZ, or we go to meetings to accomplish XYZ?
I think just in and of itself, ecosystem building, as you said it, is a discipline, and it's a constantly progressing thing, because that's how you use the tense. Like, you're actively building. You're it's not ecosystem built. Like, it's the same thing as you hear entrepreneurs or really wealthy people talking about, like, when you get to a certain point that you think you know you're making $10 million a month or per day. It's like, yes, that's a goal that everyone might have, but if you've done it, there's going to be a new goal beyond that you're going to want more money and more money and more money. It's like an always changing thing, and I think that's going to be happening in entrepreneurship and ecosystem building too. I've heard the biggest cities in the world still think that there's not enough venture capital in the area, and they're not doing enough. They don't have enough resources. And I thought, like, from Wilmington looking at Raleigh, which is our next biggest city, I'm like, they're doing everything great. We're looking at them as a goal. But when I go there to hear an event and them say that too, and I'm like, oh, well, okay. They're still building, I guess, too. There's always more to be done. But I think it could be in a job title. I think it's going to be specific to other job titles too. Like Heather's obviously like director of the CIE. I don't know if it's the right job title to have specifically as that. I think someone's going to title it differently. Maybe like it's going to be like nonprofit owner or something like that, director. Or we've been playing around with the wording locally, honestly, to a level like, is entrepreneur a better word to use? Is startup a better word to use? Is like small business a better word to use? So like an ecosystem, or like ecosystem in general, like, is that even a good word to use? Is it better to have a community? And so we've been playing with those words differently in marketing. But I think most of the time people who are ecosystem builders aren't that by title. Like, they're not gonna be like, ecosystem builder is going to be like a director of a nonprofit or another founder or something different.
I like that. I like the continuous growth, right? Like, I think the constant pursuit of never arriving, but always being on the journey.
Exactly. I like it. I have many thoughts around this. I like it, but I want to open another can of Polar. You want to hear it? Here.
Oh.
Do you need to watch the 505 podcast? It's a podcast about video production guys, and their goal is they try to open canned drinks with one hand. So that's their shtick that they do to crack open their podcast. Basically, is they'll do it and then they'll rate it on a scale of like 0 to 10. Oh, you did to the can. Oh, you didn't do a good job. Oh, it spilled everywhere. But they do the crack with one hand. So it's a fun little thing to do.
That is fun.
Cool. If anyone knows anyone at any of the canned drink companies, we'll take a sponsor.
All right. Do you want to do a fun thing now, or another question, Richard? Actually, Richard, why don't you answer? You said you had a lot of thoughts.
I do have a lot of thoughts, right? And there is, a whole group of folks who are working to build the field of ecosystem building, to make that a job title that is compensated, that is known, respected, trusted, and that's very interesting, and I love that. And I call myself an ecosystem builder, but no one writes me a bi-weekly paycheck for that title. However, like, we have free will and we can do things, which is kind of cool. And so I'm starting a community clubhouse where entrepreneurs in the capital region can come and hang out and work on their businesses, host events, do stuff, a community resource. And instead of calling myself a founder or CEO or managing director or executive director, I get to choose to call myself an ecosystem builder in that role for a thing that is tangible, that will generate money, that has a business model, that is a business, which is cool. And I do think it is both. I think ecosystem builder should be a title, should be hired by city or county or regional or state governments, just like how they hire economic development coordinators or economic developers or directors of economic development. That is the parallel, right? Economic developers think about how do you develop the economy in an area. Ecosystem builders think about how do you interconnect different people and resources and organizations in an area. And so there's a pathway to do that that is similar to something that really exists and has a body of knowledge and accreditation and letters after your name if you do certain things and do enough continuing education and schooling and stuff like that. But also,
oftentimes they're not connected, though.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Like our economic development people here, I don't think they necessarily want to. I mean, they do want to bring businesses in town for sure, but I really think their main focus is bringing on, like, Amazon's building a 4 million square foot facility here. Like they're trying to bring in the big companies
Yep.
to the area. So it's a slightly different focus, but obviously, like, the best thing possible is to figure out how these different ecosystem builders or economic development people or coalition people or connectors can all work together.
100%, right? And I think economic developers are coming around to it. It's been a very economic development as a field has been around for a long time. IEDC, International Economic Development Council, they're celebrating 100 years this year as a professional organization for economic developers. And more recently, the conversations revolve around and include entrepreneur-led economic development, right? How do you use entrepreneurship and the starting of new businesses as an economic development strategy, in addition to attraction, retention, workforce, all of your other pillars of economic development? And a very tangible example of that is IEDC's big annual conference that they're doing later this year in New Orleans. They have a specific talk track, panel track for entrepreneurship and ecosystem building. So they have specifically called that out as a vertical of economic development. And so folks are shifting more towards that now, which I think is very, very cool and very interesting, and the correct direction to go.
Going back to what I said about the right verbiage, like, is ecosystem the best term to be using for an outside person thinking about startups who might not know anything about startups locally, or just a corporate America person or moving to the area? Is ecosystem the best word, or is it community, or is it something else? Like,
I like ecosystem, I like community, entrepreneurship community. That's a good one, a good, like, very descriptive and well understood one, right? You don't have to explain what an ecosystem is or an entrepreneurship ecosystem and why it's not the dirt and the forest and the trees and ecology.
I think people can put two and two together. It's just whenever you're doing marketing, is like, you don't want to make it more complicated than it needs to be. Yeah. Like, if we know the ecosystems are already a multitude of things coming together to work together, I think that's literally it by definition. Is community a better term to grasp immediately when somebody's thinking of something? I don't know. That's what we're playing with around. Is like, do we use ecosystem? Do we use community more? What terms are better to use when describing things?
That's very interesting, and I think it's multi-layered and a bit nuanced, right? In my view,
100%.
A community, a 1 million cups community, all your attendees and organizers and presenters, definitely a community. but may not necessarily reach into the category of ecosystem, right? It feels unnatural to call your 1 Million Cups chapter or your community a 1 Million Cups ecosystem. But when you expand past that and your 1 Million Cups community interacts with a university pitch program, and then local investors come, and you have students, and it's the broader ecosystem is what I think about, and I have that kind of as my guide, right? The ecosystem encapsulates more, so it's a squares and rectangles problem, and like all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
Does that overgeneralize it too much though? Like, when someone's thinking of an ecosystem, are they assimilating you and what you're doing in Central New York to maybe an organization that thinks they're a part of the ecosystem, but they're not, but then they combine you two just because they're using the term? Like, there are definitely organizations that are in town that would love the PR to be connected to startup scenes and business growth, but they do not come to things, and they're really not the best champions out there. But are other people thinking that they are because we call it ecosystem, and they think that's just a general term that encompasses everything to do with business in general? Like, is it actually hurting people's reputation too? I don't know.
Interesting. Haven't thought of that.
I have thoughts. I don't know if they're going to make it through. I don't know what's going on with my internet, so apologies.
Whoa.
So I think like one thing Jack's hitting on is like textbook marketing, which is like, how do we communicate internally as people in the field that are talking about it versus how do we communicate externally to our community members? And at what point are people educated enough to talk how we talk internally? I definitely saw this within like the church community, but we also see it happen within, for some of our clients. Similarly, Jack, of like the way they talk about their company, what they do, what they solve for internally is completely different than how the market talks about it. And it's like, we can't go to market with our internal talk because we've not educated people up to that level of our words, our jargon, how we approach. And I think maybe that's a little bit of it, is like if we go to say, hey, like we'd love to invite you into our startup or our entrepreneurial ecosystem, it's like, okay, but it's like, hey, we really love to engage anyone that contributes to the entrepreneurial community in any way. And we're a community made up of communities, and the more they're around, like, and is how you can bridge that gap and make that education. But like maybe on this show, yeah, we're familiar with entrepreneurial ecosystem, but if we were to leave the show and then go to a local meetup, it's like, would we use that term? Which I think comes back to like, do we put our title of ecosystem builder on LinkedIn? Well, who's LinkedIn for? Who are we mostly communicating with? So maybe we put on LinkedIn community builder, supporting entrepreneurial ecosystems. So you kind of bridge the gap where it's like, oh, I understand that you build community. That's cool. Entrepreneurial. Okay. That kind of tells me a little bit more. Ecosystem. That's interesting. I'll probably need to ask him. Like, but at least at the beginning, you understand. So yeah, I think it's a great point, Jack.
With the Chamber of Commerce using terminology, I think they'll drop the word ecosystem and just use Wilmington, North Carolina. Like they'll just say the city, right? And so I just think, I think there's even lacking things of, even if we're calling ourselves ecosystem builders, like we could still be doing more. I can definitely go to way more business events in town than I'm doing now. I do not go to all of them because I don't have the time to. But it's like I could be better in going to the economic development things of the organizations that are technically ecosystem builders too, and still like advocate for startups and still do my job as an ecosystem builder. But I think it's just too all-encompassing. It's just a lot bigger job than a lot of us think, and we think it's just we're helping maybe new businesses in town or like a growth stage startup or a new startup. I think that's what we think of when we think of ecosystem is like the growing of things. But I think it's even a lot bigger than we might even think.
I think that's.
I'm trying to play like angel and devil's advocate right now. It's kind of weird.
I appreciate that. No, I really do.
I like it.
I haven't even thought about this internally until I'm just word vomiting right now. So
that's what we do on the show, right? We have these conversations and then things fall out of our heads, and it's great.
But I mean, it goes around to too when I'm learning about how to do better customer discovery or better talk with my customers and how to ask like biased or unbiased questions of like, how are we, again, using the minute details, against very marketing specific, but how are we using the terminology to best support the area and new people coming in and the businesses where they are and their education level and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Richard, do you want to try for a game? Let's see if my internet can keep up.
We can. Jack, you want to try for a game? I think this is a good
what
next
I
step
don't
here.
know what this is going to be, but yeah,
Oh,
we can
magic.
try it.
Austin does magic.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right.
Richard doesn't even know what this is going to be, so
I have no
it'll be
idea.
fun. All right, so coming back to our 1 million cups theme, seeing that we do have two hosts here, and also what I know about both of you is you all are super connectors. You're fantastic hosts, but you all are great at making intros, making connections. So on today's show, congratulations, you all are going to be our super connector. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw some people up on the stage that you are going to have to make an intro for. So who wants to go first? Jack, you're our guest. I feel like you
Sure, I'll do it.
All right, Jack. Today you're introducing Santa Claus to Bigfoot. Now they both have attended your last 1 million cups.
Mhm.
They braved the parking lot. They had to park at lot 2, you know, and they're coming in not knowing anyone. And now you got an intro. Santa Claus to Bigfoot.
So friend Santa Claus, dapping him up. I have the best connection for you. I know you're in the industry of being kind of magical and very quick and kind of doing your job in the shadows. And so I'd love to connect you with a guy who's in the same industry of kind of working in the shadows and being magical, but my friend Bigfoot over here.
That's amazing. How do we think you did?
Well done. Big claps.
Would Bigfoot take the meeting, do you think?
I think they're in the same industry. I think they have to.
Same industry.
Take the meeting.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, kind of.
All right.
The operating and magic and darkness industry.
Would take the meeting. Oh, we have a bingo list down there. Said oh man. Unhinged.
Catchphrase when well at words.
All right, Richard, you're next.
All right, let's do it.
Hold on. We need to get Santa Claus out of here. There we go.
Shift anything up.
All right. You are introducing Cleopatra to a wedding DJ.
Oh
so
boy.
Whenever you are ready.
Okay. My friend Cleopatra, I have such a cool person for you to meet. This is my friend, a wedding DJ. He can play any sort of music for you that you'd like in your court to all of your royals that you are looking to entertain. The wedding DJ, please meet Cleopatra. She's going to be your best client.
I love it. All right. I don't know why sound effects are taking a while. What do you think?
Is that a wedding DJ or a specific DJ? Just DJ.
That's a great question.
I don't know.
Also, we can ignore the time during this.
Royal court DJ.
We can ignore the time. Sure.
Yeah.
If I knew more about Cleopatra, I have to brush up on my history. I would have done a better job there.
Does she have a significant other?
Yeah. What is do you have tea? Do you have ancient tea for us?
And we could probably ask Claude for some details, but let's dive into them.
I feel like that has to be brought up. Be like, Cleopatra, I know you're preparing for your wedding with King whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Oh, easy.
Oh man. Oh man. All right. Here we go. I'll take this one. All right, Grim Reaper. I know you've been looking for your next client. I want to introduce you to Blackbeard here at the event today. Similar to you, always have a sense of adventure, maybe a little bit too far. And one thing I think you'll really like about him is he actually keeps his heart in a chest. Not his actual chest, but actually in a locker chest, which makes, I think, working together a little bit easier, and always out to sea, which sounds like similar to you. So I'll let you all connect.
Unhinged.
All right.
I think that was
one
easy.
more round, but we're going to do wild
Santa
card.
Claus and Bigfoot was easy too, but.
All right, next up is hold on, new pair with a wild card. No, new pair. Okay, this is good. Let's do a wild card. All right, so you're making this introduction, but unfortunately, there's a lawsuit involved, and so they're already in a lawsuit, and you're at the event where unfortunately they run into each other. So you got to kind of mediate this conversation.
So the Guy Fieri is suing the TikTok psychic for using the term Mindtown in their TikToks, because when people think of Mindtown, they immediately think of Guy Fieri's Flavortown, and that's trademark. And so I'm not mediating this. I'm just telling you what's going on. But I think I don't even know how to mediate someone suing another person. At these days, someone suing another person is just there's no mediation. People suing each other are just already over the fact that they're going to sue someone. There's no mediation whatsoever.
What about this? Pitch as a reality show.
Pitch as a reality show. Give it a title. I'm going to say I'm thinking of the next best dish for restaurants, road trips, and rivers.
Oh, next. Richard, you ready?
All right.
I'm sure. Wild card is all right. Martha Stewart and Robin Hood. They are already partners. Now you can choose whether that was business or romantic. But they ran into each other at your 1 million cups. Something went wrong.
Oh no!
What went wrong between Martha Stewart and Robin Hood?
Early on in their childhood, they met each other and got together, and decided to do business together. They were both from little means and wanted to each change the world. Robin Hood in his way and Martha Stewart in her way, and they just wanted to bring joy to the world. And as they did this alongside each other and shared resources and helped each other out, Martha Stewart gained more fame and more celebrity status and more money eventually one day. and Robin Hood became more and more infamous. And Martha Stewart became the very thing that Robin Hood despised. And so one day, he snapped and took all her money and redistributed it to all the people of the world. And Martha Stewart, ended up back where she was and had to go rebuild her empire.
Man, I love it.
Hanging out with Snoop Dogg too much.
All right, last one. A lot of Grim Reaper going on.
What is this? Did you build this in Claude? Can I use this?
Yeah, and during the show.
During the show.
I want to put people on the spot at Million Cups to have them do this. Honestly.
Yeah, like I think, like, for me, I don't know if I like this wild card feature. Some of its initial concepts were like, okay, you're doing the intro, but it's a voicemail, and I was like, oh well, that's funny. Instead of in person, but some of the wild cards we've gotten have been not great. But yeah, definitely, I can send you the link. Feel free to change it up yourself. But I don't know if I know. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we like the wild card.
Micro payments for biological waste.
That's funny. All right. PT, I want to introduce you to the Tooth Fairy. I know you're all about, putting on the greatest show. And, Grandma, Grandpa, I know that you've been very fond of watching the circus with all the peanuts and the elephants. They don't have the elephants anymore. They don't have the tigers. I know it was just animal stuff and the kids are too woke, Grandma and Grandpa, but that's what it is. And that's why, PT, I wanted to introduce you to the Tooth Fairy. I think the Tooth Fairy could bring a great opportunity as you're going through some tough spots in your business, trying to figure things out, because the Tooth Fairy is starting to capitalize on this opportunity with some brand deals with, brands like Colgate, Crest, where they're giving more money because they have the money from these big brands for teeth that are using those brands. And so PT, I don't know if my grandparents would understand that. All right, Grandpa, you know how your dad always said he'd give you a nickel if you did something? That's what we're saying for the Tooth Fairy and PT here. Brush your teeth with Colgate. Tooth Fairy is going to give you an extra nickel. Does that make sense, Grandpa? So PT, maybe you can tap into some brand deals, listen to the Tooth Fairy, see what they're doing. Yeah, I don't know if I like the wild card. Maybe we'll just do intro practice. Keep it simple.
I like that. I am.
All right. Thanks for playing.
If I remember, I will dig up my copy of the card game. It's called Silicon Valley Startups, and you get like 3 cards, and it's a unhinged company that you pull from the deck, and you have to pitch it. I'll bring it to Summit if I remember.
I think there's got to be a way that we can make. I've been lurking for this desperately to do it Million Cups in the morning for like a thing of like. There's got to be a way that it can do it automatically, like you just did, where it will give you just like a random generator.
This is what we did with Ben. Grounds for Investment, which kind of plays into 1 Million Cups, right? Spin the idea. All right, you have to pitch Kickstarter for group chat lurkers. And like ideally you could give it a list of these and then give it a list of those. That could be cool. Something. Which is
I've been trying to look for stuff like this. I've been trying to do also like team polls, like use Kahoot or Metricool to do like a fun trivia kind of thing. But I think these games would be really fun to do.
I mean, my prompts are pretty simple, right?
I think any games built by Ellen DeGeneres are all really fun, like Psych.
Yes. Yeah, Psych is great.
Yes.
I didn't like that.
Or like a Jackbox. Maybe that's how you frame it. Like Jackbox games, like people can chat with a QR code. and then that's how they play. I love that too.
Interesting.
There was a. Let me turn off this music. I mean, it's great in the background. It's really working. I do have to hop off here soon, but no, there we go. Here's a tool. So we used it a lot in youth ministry, but it was made by guys who wanted to quickly launch and build games. And I've used this for conferences and things like that. And it looks like they're updating to a totally new version. But the whole concept is it's basically an interactive game builder. And so they have both where you can manage it or audience can interact by like texting in with like live responses. And then there's also like silly games. I don't know. I don't think I have an active license right now, but like one of their Pixelate games was just like, all right, you have to choose like, is it a chicken or a duck? And like it goes from super pixelated to less pixels. And so it becomes more clear of like what it is. But then on the admin side, you can set it to be something just totally random. Like, so the last going from like minorly pixelated to the full picture, it just changes the picture last second. So like they can't win. But yeah, silly. it's just like fun games, but built for audience. So like, you can do like texting in, put the QR code, very interaction from the audience.
We have to bring this up at the summit. I think so many people will value this. Like I know desperately I've been like, and a lot of the stuff is obviously gatekept by money.
Yeah, but I think you could like
symmetrical stuff like that. But we can definitely build it separately. I mean, your stuff looks like it's just built in Claude. But
yeah, my stuff was definitely built with Claude. But like, so like here's like the Pixelate where like, gosh, my computer is having a really tough day today.
It's already checked out, dude. It's past 5 on a Friday.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right.
You just want to email or send that to me somehow?
I'll send it to you. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. Cool. Richard, can you take my screen off because my computer is like jacked?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is fun.
I have my friend Aaron from Colombia. He's actually here in Wilmington right now with the SCRA. I had him tune in earlier.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So he's checking out our ecosystem community, whatever you want to call it, to see what they can take back and use down in South Carolina. But I've been hanging out with him a lot lately. He came to our event last night. We talked about Venture Studios, which is a very new and fun thing. And then we got some lunch today. He did some work. We did some work, but he's here all weekend. Sadly, it's a really rainy weekend. We're getting about 8 inches of rain right now. But
oh gosh.
Yeah. Is this Aaron Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
What a guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on the show.
Yep.
He has been on the show.
Yeah, I texted him the link. I said, hey, my friends are on a podcast right now. He says, your friends? You mean my friends?
That's great.
Tell him we
hello,
say hi.
Aaron. Great to see you.
Aaron.
Hello.
Aaron. Hello. It's so fun.
Yeah, we met when he was a lawyer after a pitch night. I did a pitch night in Myrtle Beach. So we got some dinner and stuff afterwards and chit chatted. But yeah, he's a cool dude.
That's cool. We
cool.
met earlier this year in Philly at Technically's conference.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did an episode early on in the show with Aaron and Annika. We talked about podcasting, storytelling. He has a podcast, and we were all just like talking about it. Just all podcast people. It was fun. Yeah.
Sweet.
Austin, I know you got to go soon.
I have to hop.
Yeah.
Jack, great to see you again.
Thanks for having me on as a surprise guest.
Of course, anytime. Richard, I think next week you are traveling.
I sure am. I will be at 1MC Summit, but on my way back on a plane. Otherwise, I'll hop on if I were anywhere else except in the air.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful summit. Hope both of you enjoy it. We will still have the show. I'm putting together a guest. So make sure to follow us on LinkedIn to get a heads up on who that guest will be. And we'll see you next Friday at 3-ish. We're pretty consistently 3:15, I think, at this point. It's been great. And then, subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that bell so you get notified when we go live. And if you have any questions, holler. If you want to be on the show, let us know. Any closing thoughts, Richard?
Yeah, one more thing. End of an era. Last show in this specific podcast studio. So do you guys want to help me rip down the walls as we close out here?
Yes. Rip them down.
Fun. All right, let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
You gotta put on some music. There we go. But we can do that in closing. And
I was gonna say, aren't sound panels are really attached to walls usually?
I did such I did super good. What I ended up doing here. Let me back up this computer too. Here.
Like, what if it's just like command strips and not like the glue that people use for like LVP flooring?
No, I took the sound panels and hot glued them to poster board after I stapled poster board to the wall. Now we only get little poster board, like staple pinpricks in the wall instead of like hot glue all over the wall.
Whoa.
And so I'm out of this space at the end of the month and building a new studio. I'll show you guys the space before I rip it down. I got all of these walls to do. Super fun. You want to put on some like rip down the wall music for me as we close out here?
Oh man.
Call it a day. Yes. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you all on next week's episode at 3:15-ish.
See ya.
Except you won't see Richard. You'll see me and someone else.
That's right.
You won't see Jack either. He's also traveling. I hope you both have fun. But we'll see you, our audience, next week. See y'all. Bye.